Who should not make this Team USA team? Caitlin Clark destroys in day 2 of Team USA camp, looking like the best player in the world.
Want to hear what really happened when Caitlin Clark returned to Team USA after grinding through months of rehab? Angel Reese didn't just get frustrated or lose her starting role. She actually walked out of camp entirely once Clark began dominating every practice. Sue Bird and coach Kara Lawson saw Clark in action, running flawless fast breaks, hitting deep threes from the logo, and controlling the pace of the game as if those injury months never existed. Meanwhile, Reese struggled to find her rhythm in an offense now built around Clark's court vision and tempo. So, what do you think? Did Reese deserve her spot on Team USA, or is this Clark's team now? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to show some love for Caitlin.
Just really thankful for, the training staff and player development and everybody that has kind of been there with me. They haven't taken a break either because they invest a lot of time and they want me to be successful. So I think for myself, it's not proving it to yourself again, but it's just that feeling, and I think it just made me smile quite a bit. I really did kind of feel like myself out there and just continuing to get my lungs back, but I felt like I was moving really well, so it was pretty satisfying.
No one expected what unfolded when Caitlin Clark finally stepped back onto the practice court after her long absence. She hadn't played competitive basketball since mid-July, first sidelined by a groin injury, then a nagging quad issue, and finally a stubborn ankle bone bruise. Each setback stretched her time off the court, limiting her to just 13 games in her sophomore season, far short of the record-breaking rookie campaign where she shattered 62 different marks. The burning question on everyone's mind: had all that rehab and downtime dulled her explosive skill set? Players and coaches watched with bated breath as Clark took her first shots and ran through the opening plays. The gym buzzed with anticipation. Would her explosiveness still be there? Would lingering injuries slow her down? Could months away from top-level competition leave a trace of rust in her game? Sue Bird took her spot courtside, eyes sharp, studying every move Clark made. Coach Kara Lawson didn't look away either, hanging on Clark's every motion, searching for any sign that time off had disrupted her natural rhythm.
Being hurt is an incredibly isolating thing, and you don't really understand it until you go through it. And then I think the challenge for myself was just, it was one injury, and then it was a little better, and then it kind of continued to compound and get worse, and other things pop up, and then I had the ankle injury. So it feels nice to finally be back to 100%. And
Clark started knocking down shots from way beyond the three-point line like she'd never missed a beat. Her signature step-back jumper was textbook, tight, confident, and just as effortless as it had been during her record-breaking rookie season. Every shot left her hands with that silky, smooth release that made her a household name. She stepped back from 30 feet and nailed 3 straight triples, barely breaking a sweat. Even her teammates paused mid-drill to watch her display. The net barely moved, yet each shot landed perfectly, a testament to her precision. Her court vision remained razor sharp, spotting passing lanes and openings that most guards wouldn't even consider. Clark anticipated plays 2 full seconds before they unfolded, threading pinpoint passes through triple coverage with uncanny accuracy. In one stunning transition, she threw a blind behind the back pass that landed perfectly in stride for an uncontested basket. The coaching staff exchanged knowing glances. They understood they were witnessing something truly extraordinary. Clark, back to her full form.
One of the things that stands out to me in looking at this, it's not just that she's back on the basketball court and it's a relief, but her speed seems to be back. We saw it on that step back 3 on the first day of practice, but there was a play in the day 2, and this play for a number of reasons is very exciting to watch. But number one, let's start with the speed. You see Caitlin Clark gets the dribble handoff from Aaliyah Boston. It's the way she turns the corner and how quickly she gets down that stands out to me here. Look, coming downhill, great pass, right, to Jackie Young down there. So dribble handoff, and just moving quick with intent, gets it to Jackie Young, who misses the layup, but fights.
Clark's intensity in every drill was contagious, pushing everyone around her to raise their own game. Even routine ball handling exercises turned into fierce competitions under her watch, as she attacked each station with purpose and demanded excellence. Her fire was impossible to ignore, inspiring teammates to cut sharper, run harder, and compete at a level they hadn't reached all camp. The moment Clark stepped on the floor, the energy of practice shifted entirely. Sue Bird, watching courtside, couldn't hide her astonishment at how quickly Clark slipped back into her dominant rhythm. After practice, Bird told the media that Clark had surpassed all expectations. She'd seen countless players struggle to regain form after long layoffs, but Clark made it look effortless. Missing nearly the entire summer season, Clark returned on day 1 with a level of performance that was nothing short of remarkable. Bird shared these observations with reporters once the session wrapped.
Seeing her back out on the floor at all is a big deal. And probably people holding their breath a little bit too, but just all of her movements look good. That's the most important thing. But that speed burst, that ability to get up the court quickly has stood out, because I do think that was something she never quite got all the way there in year 2, just because of the myriad of injuries, because she started in the preseason with the quad injury. And that's another differentiator for her, is how quickly she can move with the basketball.
Kara Lawson shared her own astonishment at what unfolded during practice. She pointed out that Clark's influence was undeniable on both ends of the floor, proving that her skills hadn't diminished in the slightest. Lawson called her an extraordinary talent, highlighting Clark's unwavering focus and intensity through every single drill. Hearing such praise from both Sue Bird and Lawson carried weight. Neither is known for handing out compliments lightly. It quickly became clear that Clark hadn't just returned to her old form. She was operating at a level that exceeded even her pre-injury peak. Her decision-making felt sharper, her leadership more commanding, and the confidence she displayed while directing teammates radiated a mature authority everyone immediately noticed. Every play she ran seemed perfectly timed, precise, and executed with flawless control.
Reese can be an asset and a value, rebounding, being tenacious on this team, and being just a role player, which is what she should be. She's not a star go-to player. Rebound, and that's it. That's all. Rebound and play defense. That's all you got to do. That should be your role, but your team in the WNBA sucks so bad that you're trying to do more, and it's just not you.
Clark's immediate impact made it clear. She was ready to lead Team USA straight toward championship glory. Her months of rehab hadn't weakened her. They had honed her skills even further. She returned hungrier, smarter, and more determined than ever to prove that her rookie season success wasn't a fluke. With Clark healthy and embracing a leadership role, the 2026 World Cup and 2028 Olympics suddenly looked far brighter, but her individual brilliance was only the opening act of the drama about to unfold. Angel Reese's reaction to being consistently outshined revealed sides of her mindset that caught everyone at camp off guard. As Clark continued to dominate every drill, Reese saw her influence shrink and her chances fade. The coaches began tailoring plays around Clark's pace and vision, leaving Ree on the sidelines more often than she expected. Her usual opportunities to score disappeared as the team shifted toward faster ball movement and perimeter shooting. One thing was undeniable: the GOAT was back.
The GOAT is back. Look at the rain. Man, she's back, bruh. She's back.
Oh, watch it. Pick up! Pick up!
Oh, no.
Instead of adapting her game or upping her effort, Reese began showing visible frustration during meetings and practice. She openly bristled when coaches introduced new schemes that put Clark at the forefront. Between drills, she complained to teammates about the limited touches she was getting in the paint. Her intensity noticeably dropped whenever she wasn't the focal point of the offense. Other players started noticing how her negativity was affecting the energy on the floor. She couldn't keep up with Clark's relentless pace in scrimmages. Her low post game looked sluggish and outdated within the team's faster perimeter focus system. While Clark pushed fast breaks at lightning speed, Reese needed extra time to establish position under the basket. The contrast became especially obvious during transition drills. Clark's group scored in rapid bursts, while Reese's relied on slower half-court execution. Her movement simply couldn't match the tempo Clark brought to every sequence. The gap in performance and style was undeniable. Teammates noticed her demeanor shift as it sank in. Clark was taking the leadership role Reese expected to hold. Reese went quiet during timeouts as Clark began calling defensive rotations, and on the sideline, she seemed detached as coaches praised Clark's smart decisions. Her usually vocal leadership faded, replaced by Clark's direction, and teammates who once looked to Reese for guidance started responding to Clark instead.
This is gonna surprise some people, but I think she has versatility. She can score, she can play defense, she has size. I have Wnba starting at the 4. I got Wnba starting at the 4, and I got Indiana Fever's own Caitlin Clark's running mate, Aaliyah Boston, starting at the 5. That's my starting 5. That's my starting 5. Caitlin Clark, Jackie Young, Kalia Copper, Wnba, and Aaliyah Boston. That's who I have in.
The competitive scrimmages pushed tensions to the edge. Clark's squad ran crisp, efficient offensive sets, while Reese's team struggled to find any consistent rhythm. Every possession highlighted the contrast between Clark's high basketball IQ and Reese's more limited skill set. Clark created easy scoring chances for her teammates, while Reese stuck to post entries that often stalled the offense. Coaches took careful notes, recognizing how Clark's leadership style amplified the abilities of everyone around her. The defining moment came in a scrimmage where Clark's team blew past Reese's by 20 points in just 15 minutes. Clark hit 4 perimeter shots in the first 5 minutes alone, while Reese managed only 2 makes for the entire session. Clark's passing opened wide lanes and effortless scoring opportunities, whereas Reese's post isolations led to contested shots and turnovers. The lead grew so large that the coaches called the scrimmage early. Afterward, Reese's frustration boiled over. She complained loudly about playing time, the system, and the supposed lack of emphasis on her interior skills. She questioned Clark's dominant role as the primary playmaker and demanded more post touches and slower, deliberate offensive sets. The staff exchanged concerned glances as Reese aired her grievances in front of the team, leaving no doubt that the clash was affecting both practice and morale.
First is back, and therefore Caitlin Clark, I would call her number 22, but in this case number 17 is back. Just the way she gets up the floor, control of the ball, control of the step back, pure, all that. She said she had to get her conditioning back. Sue Bird said that was one thing. It would take her a little bit of time to work toward.
Her complaints went beyond tactical disagreements and spilled into personal issues around recognition and status. Despite her impressive college career and professional achievements, she felt overlooked. Reese expected her spot on the roster to be guaranteed based on past success, and the idea of earning it through camp performance frustrated her beyond reason. She couldn't accept that previous accolades didn't automatically secure a place on the team. Ultimately, she chose to leave camp when it became clear that roster spots would be awarded on merit, not reputation. The coaches made it clear no one had a guaranteed position. Every athlete had to prove their worth through effort, performance, and consistency in scrimmages. Reese wasn't willing to compete under those conditions. She announced her exit before final evaluations even began, making it obvious that Team USA valued players who thrived under pressure, those who elevated their game when challenged, rather than those who faltered when tested. Her inability to adapt highlighted exactly why she didn't fit the team's winning culture. Meanwhile, Clark's composed and professional response reinforced why she was fully prepared to lead the squad toward gold medal success.
This is what makes Caitlin Clark so special, all right? And this is what put pressure on defenses when she's out there, even if her shot isn't falling. All right, watch this. She gets the rebound. She's pushing the floor. Look at this tempo. Look at this tempo, fam. Pushing the floor. Absolutely rushing the defense. And then this is what happens when you do things like this. Look, watch this. Look, now you got a wide open AB over here in the corner. I know it might be hard to see, but a wide open AB. All because she grabbed that rebound and pushed the tempo.
The growing connection between Clark and Aaliyah Boston highlighted a key contrast with Angel Reese's approach to the modern game. Clark and Boston had developed chemistry during their time with the Fever, but questions remained about whether that bond could translate seamlessly to Team USA's system. Coaches needed to see if their partnership could elevate the entire roster, rather than relying on a regular season rhythm that might falter against elite international competition. The first scrimmage answered those doubts immediately. Clark Clark's passes consistently found Boston in perfect position for effortless finishes. Boston sliced to the hoop, and Clark delivered with pinpoint accuracy. Boston rolled to the rim while Clark threaded the ball through multiple defenders, each connection looking instinctive. Their communication required no words, yet remained flawless, and every sequence they executed flowed as if it had been rehearsed countless times.
Caitlin knows when to do this, when not to do this. That's what makes her special. Now, there are other guards that can recognize when to push the floor and when not to, but I'm just pointing out what's special about Caitlin, along with those 3 balls that she can knock down. When her shot isn't falling, this is what makes her a weapon. Although her shot isn't falling, people still respect her to the level where they're like, hey, she can get hot, man. We're not gonna just allow her to be open just because she missed 1, 2, 3 shots. We're not gonna allow that, man. Stay on her. That gravity that she holds, man, it opens up the defense like this.
Their transition game completely controlled the scrimmages. Clark would grab a defensive rebound and immediately spot Boston sprinting toward the opposite basket. Her pass hit Boston at exactly the right moment. No hesitation, no adjustment needed. Boston caught it in stride and scored before defenders could react. Defensive stops turned into easy points in mere seconds. The coaching staff tracked their efficiency, and the numbers were staggering. Boston's floor spacing gave Clark the freedom she never had with the Fever. By extending beyond the three-point line, Boston forced defenders to respect her shooting, opening lanes that hadn't existed before. Clark attacked those gaps relentlessly, confident that Boston would either be open for a pass or perfectly positioned for an offensive rebound. The court geometry was flawless. Clark's playmaking elevated Boston into an elite-level center, deserving of serious all-star consideration. Boston's screens created wide-open looks for Clark, while Clark's passes put Boston in spots where she couldn't miss. Boston started taking shots from areas of the court she rarely explored during the regular season, gaining confidence with every possession shared with Clark. On the floor together, she displayed greater size, strength, and basketball intelligence, thriving under Clark's command of the offense.
Anything completely out. Can't rule anything completely out like that team up right there, but I expect to see them really playing well off of each other in Team USA and in a Team USA uniform over the next several years, and the next couple of versions of that team. Just because Jackie Young knows how to do almost everything out on the court, and she would just thrive, I think, and she will thrive playing alongside Caitlin.
Every sequence Clark and Boston ran together showcased basketball IQ that left the rest of the team struggling to keep up. They identified defensive gaps instantly and adjusted on the fly. Clark would call the play, and Boston already knew exactly where to be before the instructions were finished. Their understanding of spacing, timing, and positioning was on another level. Teammates watched closely, trying to emulate that same chemistry. Meanwhile, Reese seemed completely lost sharing the court with this duo. She couldn't find her spots in the paint because Clark and Boston moved possessions too quickly. Every fast break left her trailing. She needed time to establish her post, but the offense was already in motion. During team drills, the contrast was stark. Clark and Boston executed flawlessly while Reese hesitated, unsure of her role. Clark would signal a play, Boston would finish it seamlessly, and Reese was left standing in the corner, uncertain whether to move or stay. Coaches couldn't ignore the gap between players who understood the modern pace and those still relying on old methods. This partnership made it clear. Team USA's future would revolve around speed, connection, and smart decision-making, not isolation post-play. Clark and Boston showed what elite basketball looks like. Two intelligent players elevating each other, creating open opportunities for teammates, and making complicated plays look effortless. Their basketball IQ lifted everyone around them, while Reese's frustration became more obvious with each passing drill. Clark's dominance at camp confirmed she is ready to lead a new generation toward Olympic gold. Her shooting looked effortless from every corner of the court. Her passing opened opportunities other guards couldn't even see, and her leadership drew the best out of every teammate. Her combination of skill, vision, and selfless mentality has set the blueprint for the future of USA basketball. Clark doesn't just play the game, she transforms her teammates, turning role players into key contributors and good teams into championship contenders. With Clark healthy and commanding the floor, the 2026 World Cup and 2028 Olympics suddenly feel like can't-miss events for international basketball fans. So what do you think? Does Reese deserve a spot on Team USA? Drop your thoughts in the comments, back Caitlin, and make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update. Check out the video on screen, and we'll see you next time.